Um, as from the website psychologytoday.com, it's an article called The 13 Essential Traits of Good Friends. These are the keys to maintaining long-term connections. And the article was posted on March 23rd, 2015 by Suzanne Degrees White, PhD. Key points. Essential friendship traits fall into three general categories, each representing a critical aspect of relational behavior. Everyone brings a different level of the 13 essential traits to their relationships. Trustworthiness is often the make or break element in any interpersonal relationship. Some people have an easier time establishing and maintaining friendships than others, and some of us long for close friendships or try to figure out why an existing or promising relationship fizzles out. In these cases, we may jump first to judge a friend's behaviour rather than our own. Perhaps we forget that relationships rely on mutual interactions. It is important them to examine our own contribution to the dynamic of a friendship. It is only our own behaviour that we can change, and there are certain personal characteristics it's essential to cultivate to build a healthy, lasting friendships. The 13 essential friendship traits. How much do you agree with each statement? 1. I am trustworthy. 2. I am honest with others. 3. I am generally very dependable. 4. I am loyal to the people I care about. 5. I'm easily able to trust others. 6. I experience and express empathy for others. 7. I'm able to be non-judgmental. 8. I am a good listener. 9. I am supportive of others in their good times. 10. I am supportive of others in their bad times. 11. I am self-confident. 12. I am usually able to see the humour in life. 13. I am fun to be around. These traits fall into three general categories, each representing an essential aspect of relational behaviour. If you find that you disagree with many of the statements, you may struggle to develop meaningful, lasting friendships. Below is a description of how each trait influences a relationship, organised by the realm of behavioural expectations in which it fails. Traits of integrity. These qualities, represented by the first 5 traits on the list above, are related to core values held by most cultures: trustworthiness, honesty, dependability, loyalty, and, as in interrelated quality, the ability to trust others. Trustworthiness is often the make or break element in any interpersonal relationship. Any breach, regardless of perceived magnitude, can devastate a relationship. Trustworthiness is comprised of several components, including honesty, dependability, and loyalty. And while each is important to successful relationships, honesty and dependability have been identified as the most vital in the realm of friendships. Honesty requires that we speak openly from the heart and incorporate objectivity into our words. Being dependable means that friends can count on you to be there when you say you will, to do what you say you will, and to be willing to stand up for friends, especially when they can't stand up for themselves. If you are as likely to let friends down as to come true for them, the relationship often becomes superficial, less engaging, and even resentment provoking if it doesn't end altogether. Loyalty is valued early on in all of our relationships. From the time we make our first friendships, we need friends who won't spill our secrets to others, gossip about us, or allow others to criticize us. Being able to trust another person involves being comfortable with vulnerability. If you have difficulty sharing your authentic self with a friend, it is doubtful your friend will be easily willing to do this for you. Traits of caring. These qualities represented by the traits listed as numbers 6 to 10 above, including empathy, the ability to withhold judgment, effective listening skills, and ability to offer support in good times and bad. These traits require personal insight, self-discipline, and unconditional positive regard for our friends. Empathy is the ability to understand what is going on with a friend, to recognize how he or she is feeling, and to interact and respond accordingly. The ability to be non-judgmental reflects our ease in accepting a friend's choices, regardless of how they may differ from our own. Good listening skills are essential to allow the communicating of intimate thoughts, feelings, and experiences. This sharing is a gradual process of give and take that deepens over time. Being supportive of others in their bad times is a defining quality of a good friend, but being supportive of others in their good times is also essential. The saying goes, everybody loves a winner, but for some of us, this just isn't so. If you have trouble celebrating another's good fortune and experience envy or even bitterness, this may limit the depth of your friendships. Traits of congeniality. This group, represented by the final 3 traits listed above, includes self-confidence, the ability to see the human life, and the ability to be fun around. The ability to fun to be around. This trio of traits have also been associated with overall well-being and happiness in life. Self-confidence is an appealing characteristic in any friend, and may even be contagious. When we are in the company of self-confident individuals, we typically feel our own confidence rise. People who are fun to be around are better company than friends who walk around with a dark cloud hanging over their heads. Dark cloud, hanging over their heads. The farmer enjoy life, they handle challenges in a proactive ways, and they keep negative experience in perspective. People who have the ability to see the human life help us deal with curveballs or spitballs. Life tosses at us. We all benefit from friends who are able to keep us from taking life too seriously. Remember, everyone brings a different level of the 13 traits to their relationships. However, the very best friends offer generous helping of this beggar's dozens. Take an honest look at your own behaviours and see if you need to raise your friendship criteria. I don't know what this to raise the likelihood of maintaining the close connections you desire. About the author, Suzanne Degrees is a licensed counsellor and professor at Northern Louisiana University. I'm just going to give my thoughts going back over the essential traits. When you have the Holy Spirit, you develop the traits of God inside yourself, so you become very content and understanding, being able to forgive others. Like Christ was able to forgive those who trespassed against him and who hurted him, who inflicted pain on him. He loved his enemies. The trait to be able to understand God's purpose, that we each have free will, makes us more willing to accept other people's choices, and because we don't take accountability to other choices, because they take accountability to God, and that frees us to be more understanding and compassionate, and you tell them the truth. I go over the 13 essential traits, and from my experience, from what I believe that if I have these or not, but if you observe me in person, you might observe these 13 traits in me, but I'm just going to go over each one and give my opinion if that I believe I may or may not have this, and I'll give my opinion if I do struggle with this or not of each of these traits. I am trustworthy. Very, extremely trustworthy I am. I am honest with others. Yes, I try to be as truthful as I can. I hate lying. Integrity is very important to me. I'm generally very dependable. Yes, I am. If it's in my power to help someone, I'll be there for them. As many people can, if you ask them in life, that I was very dependable on them. I'm loyal to the people I care about. I am. I'm kind of loyal to everybody, really. I'm easily able to trust others. Yes, I kind of extremely trusting of people, because I let God decide that. So if people lie to me, then they have to take accountability to God for that. So I am very trusting of others. Experience express empathy for others extremely. I do so much, so it brings tears to my eyes when I see so much sin and so much pain in people, and there's very little I can do about it other than to tell them to pray to God, receive the Holy Spirit and free them of the depression and attachments of this world. That's why I pray for them. So I have extreme empathy for those because I'm aware of my own pain and struggles and darkness in me. So I have very empathy and in everyone's flaw, because we're all flawed and sinners. So I have deep empathy for everyone I encounter. I am able to be non-judgmental. That's something I do struggle with. I am non-judgmental. I don't know. I can observe people's sins and things, but it's not my place to judge, but for God to judge. But if I see someone who's going down a destructive path, I will. I give them. If they ask me, I give them my advice of someone I love. But I don't hold anyone's actions or sin against them, because I myself am a sinner. So judging others is kind of stupid, especially when God sees everything else, everything that everyone does anyway. So it's for God to take, for people to take accountability when they die. So I try not to be non-judgmental. In times when Satan tries to influence me and puts kind of judgmental thoughts in my mind, I say, "Be gone, Satan!" So I try not to be non-judgmental. I'm a good listener. I am extremely better at good listening than I was years ago, yes. I do work on that a lot. I'm supportive of others in their good times. I have to get better at that. I'm much better at the follow-up one. I'm a supporter of others in their bad times. I'm extremely good at supporting others in their bad times. Unfortunately, people put up walls, which makes it harder for you to support them, and then you won't be able to support them because they had to be receptive of that support. Unfortunately, in the world that people put up walls, and that's just the unfortunate reality of fear. I'm usually able to see the human life extremely. I want to come and stand a comedian, but comedy is my avenue of way of coping with pain and suffering. So I see the human in a lot of things in this world, especially in myself. I see the human whenever I make a mistake. I tend to be laughing myself when I went to football training, and I bought bottles of water, and it's a very cheap bottles of water. I got in Tesco's, and they leaked in the bag, and my whole bag was drenched, including all the football gear, and I was just laughing my lungs out. So I am fun to be around. I hope so. That question can only really be answered by the people around me, but I'm not really around people that much. But I would hope so, that I'd be fun to be around. But I just hope to be a spark of light to people, which is the main thing. Traits of integrity, trustworthiness, yes. Honesty, being dependable, yes. Loyalty, yes. Being able to trust another person involves being comfortable with vulnerability. I'm very comfortable with showing people my past sins and things, or my past pain. I'm more than capable if it means for them to open up to me, and for them to, if they need a shoulder to cry on, or someone just to listen to for 30 or 40 minutes, and just for someone just to open up their soul, the heart to me, and just listen, for me just to listen to them, and I don't always have to give them back feedback or things. Most time people just want someone just for them to be heard. Traits of care and empathy, and the ability to be non-judgmental reflects how easy accepting friends' choices, regardless of how they may differ from our own. Everyone's choices differ from our own. We all do destructive and sinful choices. It's not for me to. When someone does destructive, sinful choices, I just warn them that the day they died, they will have to take accountability for God for it, and if they continue down the destructive path, they'll have to come to face with their Creator. But I let them continue on the path, because that's their free will to do so. If they continue to live that lifestyle, that way of living, then that's their choice and free will to do so, because that's the greatest gift that God gives each 7.9 billion humans that are currently on the planet, that free will to choose. And I'm very in favour of not denying someone's free will, or not taking the free will from someone else, which is why I'm totally opposed to murder and killing. So I believe to deny one's free rights, to one's independence, is very important to allow people to choose the sinful world or choose God. That's the choice they have. And in order to have respect for someone, you must respect their free will of choices, even though it's destructive. But if you're someone who's truly a friend, you'll tell your friend when they're doing something that's going to lead down an endless destructive cycle, and unless they feel a void in themselves, because I myself had it before I had the Holy Spirit. I was feeling the void with video games and people and football and other type of vices and things, but mainly just video games and football and Thai swords when I was younger and things, and comics and books. But I'm at peace now. I'm content with being creative with a huge channel, with art, with helping others. Yeah. So if you're looking for someone, my advice is if you're looking for someone with a friend, the best friend you can have in this world is Jesus Christ. Outside of that, having a friend that has a close connection with God, because they'd be more content in themselves, they'd be more understanding, they'd be able to forgive, they'd be able to self-reflect on their own sins, so they won't be as judgmental. They will be also an anchor to you, so that when they see you going down a destructive path, they will tell you. A true friend is someone that looks after you, your best interests, while respecting your free will, and you're able to have a slight disagreement with you, and understand that your perception is shaped by how your upbringing and about the worldly things. If you have a friend that's only in your life because they're either in survival mode, or they're only friends because it's convenient to them, that's not true friendship. A friendship is someone that will be there for you. Say if you're homeless, say you don't have a penny to your name, say that you're going through like cancer or going through like a terrible kind of illness and suffering, and you need someone to be there for you. That's what a true friend is. If you have a friend that's only with you because either you have resources or it's a convenience to them, then that's not a true friend. Or a friend's only interested in you for your body or your flesh, or for just for them to kind of feel an ego boost off you, because they feel like an ego boost being around you, or if they have a codependence in you because they can't be in their own presence, so they need you to be around with them, and they're only with you because they need that kind of like a drug kind of in them. They like to feel happy and like dancing and partying and things, because because you're fun to be around there for, you know. So these are very good traits to have, 13 traits. If you have a friend that's you're only with a friend because they're just fun to be around, and they're not really trustworthy, you're not really honest with each other, you can't depend on each other, then just being they're fun to be around doesn't really matter. Then if the other traits then they don't have, if they have destructive traits, then that, like if they have just one good trait but they have like 5 destructive traits, that one trait can't really compensate for the 5 destructive traits they have. So if you're not able to rely on them, if they're not a good listener, if they only want you for your either resources or your looks, or for their own deviant type of feeding into their own sins, then they're not people to be around, as the Bible says that bad company corrupts good morals. So I think it's in Proverbs. So you have to be very wise of who you choose around your circle, or who you choose around your friends. You should have people that are friends around you that raise you up, that motivate you, that will be able to be with you and that will help you. Then be around friends that are just temporary and they just only last maybe a couple of months and things, and because they're not content themselves, because they themselves are feeling this void, it's better to have someone who loves God as a Christian, as a friend, that they're dependable on, that they have the full force of God with them inside themselves, than to have a friend that's deeply hedonistic, that it's only good for a good time of spending a couple of hours with each other, but it's extremely childish and immature, and there's any slight bit of conflict, the relationship goes so it just goes collapses. So yeah, so that's 13 traits of essential traits of friendship traits. I hope this article by Suzanne Degrees Weiss has been a help to you. I hope my commentary has been of assistance or a bit of a light to you as well. And thanks so much for watching this video.